Good morning, and welcome back. If you'll notice, we made a little mistake last week and posted The Rover instead of Death Proof. But you know what? Here at Making Me Watch Movies, we live with our mistakes and we learn from our mistakes. So we left it up. And today, we're featuring now last week's movie, this week, Death Proof. Enjoy. You sons of bitches. All right, what movie are we watching?
Today,
the movie that I made
watch.
you watch today,
Yes.
Jake and Schwartz, although Schwartz has already seen it, is Death Proof, Quentin Tarantino's 7th movie.
5th.
Yeah, it was a guess. I thought, I had a 1 in 8 chance of getting it right.
Yeah. And to be fair, I have seen this, but it was like I may have only seen it in the theaters, so that was kind of why we're revisiting, because I don't fucking remember this movie other than the fact that it was just talking in a car crash, which I stand by.
So I just watched it. Yeah,
That is what it is.
I just watched it with my mom, and she kind of had the same argument where she was like, "I remember it. I didn't really like it." I was like, "Yeah, but did you see it after a 3-hour movie or 2.5 hour horror alien zombie movie or whatever Planet Terror was, and then watch that movie?" It's probably gonna drag a little bit, as it drags already.
And what I also discovered today, I don't know what version you guys watch, but I watched the one that's on Showtime, which is an hour and 53 minutes, I think.
I watched that one too.
And there was a theatric in theaters. It was only like an hour and like 32 minutes. So like, for some reason, Tarantino needed to add 20 minutes to this fucking movie, and
I didn't realize that.
I don't know what he added other than probably just more talking, because that's literally all this movie is. It looks great. It's a great looking movie.
I didn't realize there
talking.
was a different version. I didn't realize we watched an extendo.
I discovered this today. Yeah, when I was doing a little looking into, because I saw like 3 different like run times for Death Proof, and the middle one is on Showtime, which seems to be the main version that's out there now, other than the theatrical that's like an hour 31 or hour 32.
Yeah, they
So
had to
what
make it much
did he
shorter because
add?
of the double feature. Each of the movies was only like allowed to be like an hour, like in 59 minutes.
I don't remember
At most.
Eli Roth as much, but I mean, it's just been like obviously it's been 10, what is it, almost 15 years. Was it 07? Is that when it was?
2007.
Yeah, so 14 years of almost.
He made
15
this right
years.
after Kill Bill, right before Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a
But
while.
I want to know what they added in.
Yeah, I don't know what possibly they could have added, because it was so much already for just whatever.
What was the lap dance scene longer? Because I was watching it and I was like, I feel like this cut out way earlier, like way quicker than it did the one I was watching. I was thinking that that was one of the things I was like, this seems a lot longer than I remember.
You know what seemed longer to me is when we meet the second group of girls and they're hanging out in front of the 7-Eleven in the beginning. That seemed like it was way more drug out. And that's when the movie starts to turn on you a little bit. Because I get what you're saying, Jake. This is just a movie about people talking. It is. But all his movies are at that. The other ones just have better stories, I guess. There was just more going on in the other ones.
Well, here's what I noticed. Like, I guess
What's wrong with this story?
Before we get to it, it's visually made to look like 2 different Stuntman Mike movies just spliced together. Like, they did that purposely in editing. How like the first half looks like it looks photographed different. Like the film is different. The film stock's all like choppy. There's like deliberate like drop frame cuts. Like it's edited like on purpose to look like a poor beat up film. And then they do the thing where he's like, oh, he's not going to be allowed in Texas anymore. And then they cut to him in Tennessee. It's completely different like film. First, it's just black and white, but it's like still like clear. It's not like fucking
When
film.
they change it like cuts to black and white.
And then it suddenly just cuts to color in the middle of like a shot, which didn't really even like. I just didn't see like the point of doing that. Like, why start part of it in black and white and then suddenly be color, unless they like purposely made it look like, oh, they fucked up in the film stock again.
Exactly.
Like, they're just trying to make it look like he's just trying to make it look like he made a bad movie, which he achieved. He made a bad movie.
He achieved the look. Yeah.
Yeah.
They physically scratched the film to make it look old and shitty and beat up.
Let's also be
like
honest,
a B movie would, right?
Yeah.
Like these movies are very self-indulgent too. Like these are just two filmmakers just being like, what can we do to make like the ultimate exploitation / like B movie? Like if I was because Tarantino, this is a slasher, and it's just the car is the weapon. You know what I mean? He's just going
It's a
around
stuntman movie.
hunting girls, fucking just stalking them like Michael Myers does, or stalking them like
Hold
Jason
on, what's
does,
your
but he just
Jake,
kills them with a
what's
car.
your word? What's your word for this
Oh,
movie? Wait, it's my movie, so I get to say mine first. Brutality.
I was just gonna go something
So
along the
good.
lines of purposefully bad.
I'm just gonna go talkie because that's the most obvious one.
Talkie. It's a
Talkie.
talkie. We got a talkie here.
Is it a Tarantino movie?
It is a Tarantino movie.
It's a
and
Tarantino
that's
movie.
what
Watching a
I don't think
talkie.
Jake. I don't think Jake seems to understand that. Like he's like also against it being like it. All his movies are like that, man. The only thing is the situations that they're in, I guess, are way more interesting to you. Like
Yeah,
I guess
the stories. There's more depth to all of these other movies. So much more depth and better care. I mean, I like Stuntman Mike. Don't get me wrong, and some of the girls are cool, but like, there's very little depth to the story. It's just people talking. He kills these girls. Repeat.
Yeah, but that's what it is. It's a slasher movie. It's not.
No, it doesn't repeat.
I get it.
It's
it
a
doesn't
fucking. It's
repeat.
a movie
It's-
about a guy who
it's
kills people.
Shit changes the second time around.
Yeah, it's essentially like the stuntman. Like this would have been maybe, and I see what like he's trying to do again. Like visually, he's trying to make it look like two different movies were spliced together. Like the first one could have been a Stuntman Mike movie, and then the second one could have been
visually,
Stuntman Mike
he
2.
was making a dope movie, and because it was this grindhouse feature, he made it look like a shitty B movie that's been playing over and over again, that's been broken and taped back together and
but
scratched.
only the first half, which was weird because like there's like
No,
these
the
weird
second
like,
half is still all kind of fucked
No,
up
it's-
a little
it's-
bit. It
it's
is.
not.
It's not as much.
Well, hold on. Let's just the definition of grindhouse, right? I got it right here. Ready? Grindhouse is an American term for a theater that mainly showed exploitation films. These theaters were popular throughout the 60s, 70s, and early 80s in New York City and other urban centers, mainly in North America, but began a long decline during the mid 1980s with the advent of home video. So there's there's theaters that just played these types of movies. Like there's such a fan base for these movies that theaters would just play these fucking
yeah.
shitty B movie, fucking exploitation, fucked up, sexual. Like there's so many subgenres of these movies. It's insane. There's like 12 of them.
And that's what B
It's
movies
absolutely insane. Exactly. That's what B movies are.
So
This
can
is
we
a B
consider this a
movie.
B movie?
This is 100% a B movie.
are. No,
Jake.
this is
Ooh,
this is made.
conflicted he
This
is.
is made to look like a B movie.
But
This
it is a B
stylized
movie.
and an homage to a B movie.
But
and that's Schwartz.
it
where
is
I
a B
think-
movie.
That's Schwartz where I think you're getting overall confused on what a B movie is because you think what a grindhouse movie
Idiot.
is a B movie. And B movies are actually seen at this point, B movies don't exist. Like B movies are an outdated thing. Like B movies that was what B movies were. Like they were made to come out together, poor budget, low budget, no name actors, whatever. Those were B movies. These are also can be considered grindhouse movies, which I think still exist. Maybe if this is the grindhouse movie, is that
you
that's
think-
the horror genre, that's the murder genre, that's the exploitation genre, that's the grindhouse movie. But that's what B movies also.
So you
were.
say B movies don't
movies
exist today?
No, I think it's an outdated thing. There's independent movies and there's movies that are homages to B movies, but I don't really think B movies are much of a thing anymore.
Listen, this is a B movie made for a big budget. That's what this is.
Wait.
Which doesn't make
You're
sense.
saying why?
No, it
Why do you
does.
think
It
a
happens
B
all the
movie
time.
couldn't be made today? Why couldn't a
No,
B
they
movie be
definitely
made
they
today?
definitely can, but I think the way that what makes a B movie is like how they're released and everything like that as well. But
How
like,
they're released now is
Yeah.
your argument?
That's always been part of
I
it.
just saw a B movie like 2 weeks ago. It's called The Scary of 61st. It's a movie that was released in like 6 theaters and it was made for a B movie budget, but the B movie script was made at a B movie budget. You know what I mean? This is a B movie script and a B movie made at a high budget. That's what this is.
So a B movie has to meet every single requirement of yours, Jake, to be a B movie. It can't
No, I
just
think
it
it
can't
has to
have like it can't have the script, the actors, the release, but a big budget. That
It
would
can't
not
have
make it a B movie.
I don't. It can't have a big budget.
Okay, so
I
what
think
if
that's-
what if it
that's
has
what
a
makes it.
low budget, a limited release, but 2 A-list actors?
Maybe if they got paid like next to nothing, like I could see that being something.
So you have it's depending on how much they're getting paid. That you have to know you have to know how much they're getting paid to
Jake's
qualify it as a
only
B
argument for a B movie. Jake's only argument for a B movie is that it's the budget. That's all he's got. That's all he can get.
Look at the definition of B movie, and that's the first thing mentioned.
So, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't like I'm not talking about. I don't think we need to go and call their accountants and see how much they're getting paid. I'm just saying the movie itself, it has a certain budget that whatever you would consider a B movie budget for $5, and then it has a limited release, probably because of the budget,
mm-hmm.
and then or the storyline. It has a super B movie storyline. I don't know, whatever you want it to be, clowns from outer space, but it's starring Tom Cruise and Will Smith. But you don't know how much they got paid. But
I think
do
for
know
them,
the budget of the
like,
movie.
sure, if they want to do like their own passion project B movie on the side, that's fine. But they got to know it's.
Is that okay with you?
It's not going to get a major release. I mean, maybe it could be, but
what does that matter? But would you consider that a B movie? That's the question. Starring Tom Cruise, starring in Killer Clowns from Mars, the sequel to the sequel. Electric Boogaloo.
Dude, you're only
for $1 million. And you're only released in fucking 6 theaters around the country.
Yeah, I think it could be a B movie.
Starring Tom Cruise and Will Smith.
That's fine. It's a B movie. Why not?
You know, they probably put a little bit of their money into it.
Yeah, sure. That's great. Passion project. B movies.
Listen, man, you can take a B movie idea, which is mostly any Robert Rodriguez movie, a lot of Tarantino movies, a lot of movies made by J.J. Abrams, and you can make them for big budgets. Like, you can make a B movie idea and a B movie script for a big budget, and it happens all the time, Jake.
I think the argument there is like you can take a script and either make it into a B movie or you can make it into a blockbuster. You can use the same script to do either one, but that doesn't mean the script's a B movie. The B movie is the production.
No. Blockbuster is more specific, just as specific as what a B movie is. Blockbuster. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like he's asking me like if whatever J.J. Abrams and shit can make a B movie from or make a big budget movie from a B movie script. Yes, they can, but that makes it no longer a B movie.
Yeah, it's still a B movie. It's the idea of the movie is that it's a B movie. Everything about it, everything's in the script represents what those low budget movies would, but they're doing it in a grand way.
So how would you say it, Jake? You have a different vernacular for it. What would you say Death Proof is? If Schwartz says it's a B movie, you say it's trying to be a B movie,
it's an homage of the B movies.
It's an homage to B movies.
It's very simple. And
can we just like make an equation that says homage to B movies equals B movies, and then you guys just kind of agree with each other?
And I think that's what it's become, and that's what Schwartz thinks a B movie is. But
have you seen Planet Terror? Have you seen Planet Terror?
I've seen Grindhouse. I went to Grindhouse.
You've seen
and Robert Rodriguez started off with B movies. I'll give you that. Desperado was definitely a B movie, but
why don't you
go? So was From Dusk Till Dawn.
But Once Upon a Time in Mexico, I wouldn't consider that a B movie.
Dude, that was a B movie. Just like From Dusk Till Dawn was a B movie.
I think Once Upon a Time in Mexico escalated it from
bigger budget,
a B movie.
Big release, big name stars. He started as a B movie maker, and then he got a career, and then he didn't have to make B movies anymore.
Desperado was definitely a B movie. I think Once Upon a Time in Mexico elevated it to an A movie.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
But I'm hey.
I missed all that.
That doesn't mean I'm agreeing with you, Jake. I'm just saying I agree with you on this one point.
What was it? Say it again.
I think Desperado is clearly a B movie.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mariachi was
El Mariachi is the ultimate B
movie. Certainly that was a B movie.
Yeah.
And I think Desperado can still be argued as a B movie.
Desperado is still a B movie, but Once Upon a Time in Mexico,
no.
I will agree, elevates it from a B movie to more
Yeah,
of
but
a.
the script of Once Upon a Time in Mexico is much more B
Ag-
movie-ish than Desperado is. It's
Again,
about a fucking a rogue general who's gonna have a face transplant to hide his identity, and then you got a fucking Johnny Depp's character, a CIA guy, running around Mexico with fake arms, pretending to kill people, and gets his eyes chopped out, and he can't even. He's blind, going in a parade. Fucking.
that
It's the
doesn't.
ultimate
Can I
B
can I
movie.
pose a
script-
question?
the ultimate
Can I
B
pose a
movie.
question to
This-
Jake? I mean to
Yes.
Schwartz.
Sure.
Would you consider, actually, just put to both of you, would you consider the James Bond movies B movies?
No.
No.
What
Would you
you just
consider-
described is like
John-
a bunch
but-
of James Bond
But
movies.
James Bond's its own genre. James Bond's like a fucking action. Well, the thing is, James Bond evolved. Like James Bond went from being like a different thing. Like when Daniel Craig movies came out, like the modern
All right,
brutality
excluding Daniel
of them,
Craig, excluding
like,
Daniel
changed
Craig.
it.
Let's stop at Pierce Brosnan. In fact, let's just talk about Pierce Brosnan movies.
I mean,
You wouldn't
those movies
consider
are
those
definitely
B
campy.
movies?
Those movies are
No.
campy. So I mean, do you consider Indiana Jones a B movie? If you consider
I'm
Indiana
just
Jones
saying
a B
by-
movie, then yes.
By
then yes.
your definite, like what you were saying about what makes a B movie, I mean, that's everything in James Bond movies. One-eyed
No, yeah, I
villains.
guess you're right. Yeah, I guess you're
uh,
right.
Guys running around, like literally, The World Is Not Enough is about a guy, a general who changes his face, who gets a face transplant because he has diamonds embedded in his skull.
I feel like James Bond's its own thing, but James Bond's almost like a comic book where like you're battling different villains all the time. But James Bond never ever looked like a B movie to me. You know what I mean?
All right. I think what again, like
But you're right. I
What
guess
you
they are.
what you described with the Once Upon a Time in Mexico, that's the script. I don't think the B movie's in the script. The B movie's in the production, in the release, in all, like it's that part. It's not the script. The script can be made with a lot of money, or it can be made with very little money. If it's made with very little money in a certain way, that's what makes it a B movie. A script's a script. That's it.
A script can be made into a lot of things, though, man. Like
Yeah,
you can
I know,
make, you
you're
can't
right,
make
but it's not
certain
gonna be a-
scripts B movies.
That's what
You
Jake
can't
just
make
said.
certain scripts B movies.
Why? Like what? Name one script you couldn't make a B movie. Minority Report.
Actually, yeah. I
There you
mean,
go.
I
there's
don't
a
know,
lot of
man.
movies like
I think
dramas
I
and
think you can
comedies.
go-
You know what
I
I mean?
think
That just don't
you
have
can
the
do
B
that.
movie feel.
I think if with the right director and the right
Yes.
vision, I think you can make like fucking
I think
Dune
instead
a
of
B movie. You
instead
can
of
make Star
instead of
Wars a B
calling
movie.
like instead of calling those dramas and
Star Wars is a
comedies-
big budget B movie.
again, that doesn't make sense. That's not a
instead
thing.
of calling the
We need
those
to
Star
get
Wars.
someone
Can you
else.
guys hear me?
We need
Can
to
you
get a
guys hear me
fourth
or no?
person.
Am I fucking out here?
What like yeah, we can hear you.
Oh,
Like,
you're just talking
I
over
hear
me.
you.
Jesus Christ! Shut up and let me talk for a second.
Well, we're all.
You can
we're
talk
all
about
talking.
those. Okay, now both you wait for me. You could call those dramas and comedies B movies, or you could just call them Hallmark movies, which I think is the equivalent of B movie from like crazy action, bloody exploitation to like your Gone Girl, which equally could have been a Hallmark movie instead of the epic movie that it became.
Right. So yeah, it could have been made in a certain way. It could have been made depending on
But
who
I
makes it,
think
depending on
I'm
the
just
director.
saying. I think that any movie. I'm agreeing with Jake here. I think any movie could be made into a B movie.
Sure. I mean, I guess if you can add elements to things, sure. But I just don't see like Pretty Woman being a B movie or like you know what I
Prostitute.
mean?
Fucking, I could see it being a B movie.
Yeah, you can add elements to it. Like you can change it up a little bit. Like if you can
No,
change it.
she
a little
is a
bit.
prostitute. I didn't add that.
But I get
Yeah,
what
but,
you I get
like
what
if
you
you're
mean,
gonna
like,
make a
there's-
B movie version of that, you would add nudity and you would add things like that. So you change it up a little bit.
I don't know.
I guess so.
I
yeah,
guess
you'd
so.
have to.
But you're
We need
you're
a-
think
we
you
need
still
another
think
person
of,
to come
you
in
still
and
think
talk
of,
to us about
and
this.
You're
and see what
thinking
they
of
say.
more.
What? Who? You
in
got
the
you got an
ex-
expert? You got a B movie expert? You want to call the mayor of Hollywood?
I mean, I know people who love B movies.
Oh, we're gonna bring in your friends to defend your
Tarantino?
We
point.
should get.
Call
You
the
I would
You know
love
the
to bring
person.
Tarantino in here.
right.
Me too, bro. I wish I would anything like I said before. Another one of these, whatever he said, I would be like fine with. I'd be like, fine, that's it. That's the end of the argument.
Yeah, true. I think
I think he would
be
agree with
interest-
Schwartz.
I'd be interested.
Yes, I think he would agree with me
I
too.
don't really. I think if you ask him directly, is Death Proof a B movie? I don't think he would say yes. I think he would say
Yeah, no, he
it's
would.
in vain of
He
a
would.
it's in vain of a B movie. He's like I want to make a movie that looks
No.
like a B movie. He's like, did I make a B movie? No, of course not. I spent $30 million on a movie. That's not a B movie. That's probably what he would say. But
No. I think he would call Desperado a B movie. I think he would call Once Upon a Time a B movie. He would definitely call From Dusk Till Dawn a B movie. Those
I
are all
think
B
you're just
movies,
getting
dude.
your genres like twisted into like this subcategory or some
Twisted.
category up, and you're just lumping them into they're exploitive movies and things like that.
They're all exploitation films for sure.
Exploitation films, grindhouse
100%.
films. That's what you think are B movies, but that's B movies.
Those
are
B
those
movies.
B movies are those things.
are B
but-
movies. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, if it's playing at a grindhouse, it's more often than not going to be a B movie, right?
Right.
The theater,
So,
his
what
theater,
do you
New
say?
Beverly. He plays those nights where you can watch two. I have tickets to one actually. It's Videodrone and this like slasher film from England that's never been released here, and it's a double feature of two B movies.
Exactly.
Like
Anyway.
Tarantino put it out this movie, Planet Terror, another zombie flesh eating B movie.
Death Proof.
Let's
Look,
get to the
should we
story,
talk
bro.
about
What happens in
Death
this movie?
Proof?
Yeah,
Anthony?
sure. Let's talk about Death Proof.
Death
just-
Proof. Go ahead. What are you saying?
I was gonna say, like, I love Tarantino, so like I think that was why I wanted to talk about, or why we should have talked about this. So I'm glad we talked about this because it's like the only Tarantino movie I would say I don't like.
Well, listen,
So
I'm gonna
So
call.
you think this is worse than Hateful Eight? You think Hateful Eight's better than this?
yeah, I do.
Okay.
Is this your least favorite Tarantino movie?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Bring him in, Anthony. Quentin Tarantino just sits next to Anthony.
It's
right now.
probably literally the
All right,
only one. I can.
Fun fact,
can-
I have
can
right
confidently
here.
say I don't like. I don't hate this movie. Like I.
You said you
appreciate-
hate Tarantino.
No,
you
I
say
love
Tarantino's
Tarantino.
a piece of
I
shit.
love it. Clearly one of my favorite. Like, look at the wall behind me. I love Tarantino. Like,
Oh,
and
yeah.
one of my favorite directors, like him and probably Scorsese, are like
I like
top
giraffes.
dudes. And he's one of the very few directors that's like only made good movies, other than maybe this one. And like he at a point in his career,
So
he
wait,
was
whoa,
the
whoa,
fucking
whoa, whoa,
man.
whoa, whoa. So you're
He's
saying
still the
not
fucking
only is this your least favorite movie, it's a not good movie.
It's hard. It's hard to say it's a bad movie because I can see that it's made very well and like stylistically, I appreciate it, but like it was so fucking boring after a while. Like I totally was checked out in the second half because like I was like, okay, the first half was somewhat all right, whatever, and then it just shifted and was like I said, like my argument's that it's supposed to be just a different movie, and they just jammed two movies into one, and it was just like he purposely made a movie.
What did you want it to
bad.
end when he killed the first crew?
I think they could have continued on that story because it was like they were there
They did.
and like he was in the hospital and then like the cops like, oh, he's got to stay out of Texas. Like it just could have followed maybe him getting out of Texas, follow up of like
Oh, wait a
what
second.
happened
So
with that movie or what
I
happened with
got
that
to think for
story.
different versions. So in your version that you watched, the older cop didn't say to his son that it wasn't worth his time. It said that he wasn't into catching this guy.
Yeah, they had that conversation.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I was
Yeah, I
saying,
think he said something like as long as he gets the hell out of Texas or something.
okay,
Yeah,
okay, all right.
yeah.
I wanted to make sure because that's like the reason
said- he
right there. He's
said
like, I'm not going to
yeah.
track this guy because it's not worth my time.
He
Yeah,
said,
and
unless he comes back to Texas, and then
Yeah,
it showed
yeah.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
And then the editing completely changed and the film stock completely changed. It looked very, very
You know
different.
why? You know why? Because that happened when like B movies had low budgets and they would have to like come back and shoot shit later with like different stuff. So
No, I know.
that's cool.
I
That's
get it.
my B movie.
Like fuck, what is that called? The Room has that actually in it. Like you can like he uses like digital in film throughout, but it's still just like it looks bad in that. But like stylistically, and
It's-
Tarantino is one of the most stylistic motherfuckers out there. It stylistically he makes it still look cool. The
Let's
shitty quality, the shitty look to it still looks cool, but it's still shitty.
yeah, but it's purposely shitty, like a B movie.
I know it's purposely shitty. He achieved
Did you enjoy
making
the
a bad
shittiness?
movie. I
Did
I
you enjoy
enjoyed
the
it to
shittiness?
to a point. I enjoyed it to a point.
Yo, let's not forget that he DP'd this movie. He shot every
Yeah.
frame of this movie. He lit every frame of this movie, which is pretty awesome. Like the car chases in this movie, the car scenes in this movie are some of the best I've ever seen, like ever in the history of cinema. Like that last 20-minute car chase, like I watched the making of this on the DVD the DVD extras. Like the people who were driving those cars, the stunt drivers, those are like legendary dudes, like purposely, like the dudes that were doing all the crazy TV shows and movies back in the day that were still alive, like these 60-year-old dudes. Like he recruited like all those guys for this movie, and there's a bunch of them. There's like 3 or 4 of them, and there's even the chick who does her stunt driving.
Right.
The chick driving in the end, like they're legendary people, and like
was she actually a stunt driver?
They were actually, yeah, like that chick is a stunt driver, and Zoe Bell actually hung off the hood of these cars, that car, going 80 miles an hour. They were going 80 miles an hour that whole fucking time.
Yeah,
like,
I know she was like a legit person. I just wasn't sure about the driver, like the girl playing the driver.
Yeah,
right. She was
she was
But was like the actual girl playing the driver in that scene?
Yes.
She was actually a stunt driver in real life.
I think so. Okay. Yes, she's been Rosario Dawson's like double and stunt person in a lot of movies.
Gotcha. Okay, because she was pretty badass. She had like a badass vibe to her. Like
Tarantino's
there were some badass people, but it was still just.
Tarantino's got like a thing for stunt people, man, and he like loves them.
That's what this movie's about. This movie's flicking the little man of the boat to stunt people. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And old movies that required stunt people.
Yeah.
Or old shows that require. I'm pretty sure. Like, what the shows she's talking about? Were they all real? The one that the shows that Zoe Bell's talking about. She's like, this movie or this show, this happened with this guy driving this car.
Probably.
I feel like that was all real, and that's what they love. This movie. Okay, this movie's about. Let's get to what this movie's about.
Let's get it.
I'm gonna. The movie basically is about a stuntman named Mike, played by Mr. Russ of the Kurt Persuasion. He is are we to assume he's a serial killer?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
sure. He does this all the time.
A lot.
After watching this film, we know. I would say yes, he's a serial killer. At first, we don't know. We don't know what he is at first.
He's Stuntman Mike.
He's just Stuntman Mike.
He's a good driver. So he's gonna give this girl a ride home. We see that he has. We could get into more detail. I'm just going over broad strokes. He targets. He's only targeting one of the people in the car of these 3 girls that we meet in the very beginning. One named Jungle Julia, one named Butterfly. I can't remember her real name, and then the white chick. I don't know who she is. They're in the bar. They're having a good time. They're on some sort of vacation, little girlcation, and one of them is being targeted by Stuntman Mike. We find out he doesn't even have. Oh no, he does. He does the whole butterfly thing with them. The lap dance, which is a dope song by the Coasters. The Coasters? I think so.
Well, all day too. Like it shows them doing about their day. It's like a day in the life of these girls who are just talking about.
But that's all the boring stuff.
Yeah, it's just talking about
but that's what this movie was. Like he wanted you to just like hang out with these girls. You know what I mean?
That's great. But I don't like that's. But this is what the movie's about.
They could have.
What I was gonna say is that he's like stalking them too. Like he drives past them a lot, and he's like looking at them from a distance. And while they're doing their shit, we see that
he's targeting one during the day. He's like seeing them. He's very Michael Myers-esque in that he's kind of keeps coming across them, although he does talk to him a couple times. Anyway, he fucking murders them with his car. That's the crux of that part. He's giving what's her name a ride home. Who's the
Rose McGowan.
Rose McGowan a ride home. Super annoying Rose McGowan. Giving her a ride home. She's in the car that he calls death proof. And she realizes that it's only death proof if you're in his seat, which is probably the best line of the whole movie.
Well, the best is when he looks at the camera after she gets into the car. It's she gets in and he looks straight at the camera and smiles, and you're just like, oh man, that's just so weird. Like it's so weird. Yeah.
We assume she's gonna die.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes is he goes, well, honey, you going left or right? And she goes, I'm going right. And he goes, that's too bad. See, we had a 50-50 chance you were going left. And if you were going left, you wouldn't have been it would have taken you a little while to get scared. But now I'm afraid you're going to have to get scared right away. That's probably the best line of the movie.
Yeah. Like those scenes are great. Like I like those. It was fun. Like that little exchange of dialogue, super fun.
Damn,
I
you're
enjoyed those
psychopath,
parts.
dude. You think that's fun?
Well,
I
when,
think it's
when
hilarious.
well when like the women were getting like beaten to death,
Murdered.
like I wasn't super into
What?
that. But
You hate
I was
women?
into it.
no, I wasn't into it. It
Oh,
was.
dude.
I mean, it
you
was.
were.
So you don't
shocking.
like did you watch this movie and then when that happened you were like, "Ooh, women rights," and you just like
Yep.
paused it or like
I
fast forwarded
did.
it?
I did.
Yo, let's be honest.
Me too.
That scene when they get killed in the first time, the first scene is epic. Playing that fucking
Great.
song by Dozy, Mickey, Beach, and Teach, or whatever the fuck their name was. Like,
Yeah.
dude, it shows how.
That's a
Dude,
great song.
such a great fucking scene too. When he's driving
And they
past
just-
him and he turns around, he shuts the lights off, and he just is driving. And that crash was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And again, they really did all that. Like all those
They
crashes
really
were
killed all
100%
three of them.
real. Like all that shit that they did in the end, like they were all practical. Like when the fucking tire runs over the chick's fucking face,
Yeah.
and it's like her face comes off, and then Jungle Julia's leg fucking lands on
Flies
the ground
off.
like the lamb in Jurassic Park. Like it was fucking sick, dude.
All right,
It was
the leg
so
was the leg
sick.
was pretty sweet. The
That was
leg
so
was
sick.
great.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, that
The
was
driver, she
awesome.
didn't get it rough. Nothing really happened to her.
Nothing
But
happened
yeah,
to her,
Jungle
yeah.
Julia's leg flew off, and then what's her name's face was ripped off by the tire. That was
And then
great.
the
And they
blonde
play it.
chick
We
went
see it
through
over and
the
over
fucking-
again.
Yeah,
which
it
is
goes.
great.
It shows one individually. Yeah, and then
So,
I
yeah,
think the
he
creepiest part of the
chases him
movie.
down. Go ahead.
The creepiest part of the movie is right after that happens, right after he kills the first girls, and then it opens up the next one. He's photographing the girls, and
Yeah.
he's sitting there, and the music is straight out of like a Dario Argento movie where it's like la di da di da, and then he's going, oh yeah, like he's like, oh, like he's straight up just like sexually aroused, fucking doing this shit. And I was like, oh, this is creepy as fuck. Like this is so weird. Like this guy's fucking
Real
weird.
quick, Schwartz, who the fuck is Dario Argento? Who is that?
He's just this legendary fucking
I don't think
slasher
anyone-
guy.
no one-
you know
I
what
don't
mean?
think anyone knows who it is.
Legendary.
You're
Legendary.
okay in my book.
Yeah, no, he's got some great lines, man. I think you gotta before that, like that lap dance scene, the scene when he confronts them about like not giving him a lap dance because they're chicken shit is probably the best scene in the movie. Like he calls
Yeah.
him out and like he's super smooth. Like what I like about this movie is I see Tarantino so much in Stuntman Mike, like the things Tarantino would say. Like I feel like he's telling Kurt Russell almost like verbatim, like say this line like a little bit like this and say this line a little bit like that. Because like
Especially if he's licking the
sometimes
girl's
you can
toe.
hear, oh, when he licks the girl's toe, I was like,
let me show you
Christ.
first how to lick it, Kurt. I'm gonna do it real quick, and then you do what I do. That's probably what he
for
did.
sure.
Can I
Put your
just
face
show you?
Rub
Let
your
me just
face
show
right
you.
up on it.
You're not doing
So,
it right. Can I just
There
show
is
you?
a picture on the internet of that scene of Tarantino on the dolly with his face on the fucking lens and his thumb or his index finger tickling Rosario Dawson's toe. You can find that on Google. 100%. That's pictures on Google.
That's so hot.
They're
Yeah.
gonna say it with his hand down his pants.
No, he's
He's
DP in the shit, dude. He's
yeah.
DP in the shit out of that scene, dude.
Good. For
That's the
him.
thing is, yeah. He likes feet. Whatever. He's
Like,
not
hey,
a
it's-
weirdo. He's
it's
not
great.
Weinsteining people.
Feet
I
are
mean, he
great.
was
No.
really good friends with Weinstein,
Yeah.
but
Well, Pulp Fiction was like started Miramax. Pulp Fiction was Miramax's darling.
But if you got to just be like, hey, show me your feet to get in my movie, opposed to what Weinstein was doing to get into movies, like he's not.
Bro,
Tarantino's fine.
these
He's
scripts
fine.
are so good, and these girls all had these awesome parts they could play where they could just hang out and play themselves instead of having to be like a girl in a movie that has like another meaning. Like these girls were just chilling. Those girls probably fucking loved it. Anybody to be in a Tarantino movie probably takes a huge pay cut. Like if you're not Brad Pitt or fucking Leonardo DiCaprio, you're probably like you're willing to take a fucking pay cut to be in a Tarantino movie.
Right. I think I read like didn't Travolta get like 200,000 or something? Like he, way below what he.
Well, that
usually-
was when Travolta was like down and out too. Like John
Yeah.
Travolta's career was in the shitter when he made that shit.
But they were all like, yeah, you get like SAG minimums. Maybe not now. I'm sure like Brad Pitt and DiCaprio on like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm sure they were paid handsomely, but
Yeah,
maybe
they
not
were-
as much as they
Well, that's
could
the
get
thing.
otherwise. Though.
They're both like $20 million dudes. They probably each took like 8 for that movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
yeah,
DiCaprio
but
just kind of
also,
does movies.
He
he
probably
wants
had
to
a
do.
pretty good budget for that movie where you can pay
yeah.
people what they want.
It was like $100
Certainly,
million
certainly.
movie.
a lot of
Pretty
money
good.
there.
It's pretty
Yeah.
good since you're not doing any special effects, except for when Brad Pitt jumps up the wall.
And then they burned that chick in the pool. That was so great.
That was real though.
That was
I heard
practical.
she's actually burnt.
Yeah, they had to burn a real person.
So Stuntman
Sacrifice.
Mike, we come to assume that Stuntman Mike is this vehicular serial killist, where he finds one beautiful woman, chases her down, and rips her face off with a car tire.
Yep.
Cut to 11 months later, and also, I mean, he's able to do this stuff because he's a stuntman.
Yeah, and his car
He's
is
used
literally
to it.
death proof.
Yeah.
His car for him is death proof.
And I think there was an interesting.
That's why he uses it.
Sorry, and I think there was a funny detail. Like we're at the bar, we get shown that he doesn't drink alcohol. He's just like, oh, this is just a.
He calls himself a teetoker.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I think that's funny because if he gets into these like horrific car accidents with like girls that have been partying and he's clean and sober, but he murdered these girls.
They say that in the
like,
hospital. That's
yeah.
one of the reasons they don't go after him. Because listen, these girls were drunk in their car. He was not drunk, and like that's all he can say. The only thing they could have gotten him on was killing Rose McGowan.
Maybe she could have just been a passenger in the car.
She asked for the ride, and again, he was dead sober, and
Yeah.
it was nothing. Like nothing. They could not pin it on him. It's not that they didn't want to go after him. They couldn't pin it on him because this motherfucker is smart. He kills people for fun, and he does it very well with a car. Vehicularly.
Wouldn't they? The only thing I would see is like they would see that he was driving in the wrong lane clearly, but he was still the sober
Not clearly.
one, so.
There's no cameras out there.
Wouldn't there be like tire marks or some shit? Or maybe just because there was never any brakes.
It's a country road.
Never mind.
It's a country road. Likely no lines on the road. He was also going straight at him, no lights, so they didn't see anything.
True. Well, he's got it all.
I mean, think about it, dude. Think about it.
This guy's been doing this for a while. This guy's been doing this for years. This guy's killed a lot of women, dude. This guy's a fucking psycho.
Is that
that's
thing?
the important thing we need to know is that this ain't his first time. This ain't even his fifth time.
Bro, 11 months later, he's doing it again. He got out of the hospital probably a couple months before that. He's been jerking off in corners to these girls for a while.
That's his thing. He just gets his rocks off. He just kills some girls, gets injured, heals up. Once he's healed up, does it again, cycle back. Sometimes it's worse than others. Sometimes it's not so bad.
And we all know that the hospital was straight out of Planetary.
Planetary. Yep, we see
the
nurse from Planetary.
Nurse Dr. Block. She's in it.
Dr. Black.
Dr. Black.
The shots doc. So that was fun. Then we cut to 11 months later in Tennessee.
Pretty great movie.
What?
Planetary is a really fun movie, by the way. Like super.
It's good. I think this is better, but whatever.
I remember coming out of it liking Planetary a lot more than I liked this. I think just because it was more action. I think, like you said earlier, you get a lot of action for an hour and a half, and then you get a lot of talking for the second hour and a half of
But
Grindhouse.
the end of this movie, there's no movie that is more satisfying an ending than this movie. Name
it's pretty great
that are more satisfying.
Pulp Fiction.
Nope.
Django Unchained.
No, I agree with Pulp Fiction, but not Django.
Okay. Kill Bill. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Kill Bill, maybe. But you got to sit through 2 movies for that.
I think this ending is just as good as all those endings though, because like these girls literally beat the shit out of him. He's crying like a little baby at one point. He's like, "Leave me alone!" Like that shit was.
I liked that part. I think anytime
he's apologizing, I didn't mean anything by it.
That's what I love about Tarantino movies. Is at heart, they're all comedies. Like everyone is a fucking comedy.
Yeah.
They're all hilarious. Django, the subject matter of that movie should make it like the most unfunny movie ever, but it's one of the funniest movies of all time. There's comedy gems in that movie.
It's his funniest movie is Django Unchained.
It probably is.
I think it is.
It probably is.
I think that's written closest to a comedy than any of the other ones.
Yeah. I mean, Jackie Brown, the scene with Chris Tucker when he gets him to go into the trunk of the car. Yeah, this movie's pretty comedic. Yeah.
It feels like it's stylized to be like in back to my argument of like 2 movies. It feels like the first one is like a horror movie, and then the second one's like the action movie.
Sure.
You keep
of
saying like
something
it's stylized in a certain way.
Dude,
Doesn't that make
I
it that
think-
way? Like, isn't that what it is? That's the style of it. So it is what it is.
Well, even the very beginning of like the movie when it was like
Jake's in denial, Anthony.
these people in, and then it was like about
You're
to
in
show the
Egypt
ti-
right now?
It was about to show like the title of the screen of like the movie, but then it cut to like a black
Another
screen that
one,
just said
Death Proof.
Death Proof. So it
Yeah.
was like clearly supposed to be titled a different movie. And then like then it kind of got wrote. Like, I don't know. It just seemed like it was just this weird, like hack job editing, which was purposeful. But that's just my thought. Is like the idea was that it was supposed to look like two movies, just hacked together,
Okay.
and poorly
And,
delivered.
and your point?
I don't have a point. I don't know what my point was.
What's wrong with that? Why is that bad?
If you saw that, that would just be like if you just saw a movie edited like this, if it wasn't a Tarantino movie and it wasn't supposed to be stylized, and if that was
Okay.
just like
I see
if
that point, but
it would be like, what the fuck was that? And it would just feel like a poorly made movie.
Bro,
But,
you have
like,
never gone to a
back
theater
in the
and watched
day,
a movie
if
like
you're-
that. You don't enjoy that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They made this movie, and I get what you're saying. You don't like the way they made it. That's
Yeah.
fine.
But
And
they
I-
did
and I
make
totally
the
accept
movie.
No,
but
I
they-
actually
but
kind
it's-
of
it's
like the way they made it. I'm not saying that was bad. I kind of appreciate it. in a
Well,
way.
then what are you
you're-
saying?
You're pulling my thing right now, where I talk shit on it and tell you I love it.
No, I think again, I like the stylized nature of this movie, but it's still a bad movie, but it's a bad movie on purpose, which I can appreciate. But it's still bad. But he made it
Okay.
in like it looks cool. It's a
So
cool
what's
looking,
bad
bad movie.
about it? You told me all the stuff you like about it. Now what don't you like about it?
I think
it's
he's
poor-
he's talking
it's-
about the
it's
editing. He's
poorly
talking about the
edited,
way it looks.
but it's on purposely poorly edited. So it's like it's almost cleverly edited in a way, which I appreciate, but it still looks bad. Honestly, the worst part about it again is just the fucking way too much talking. And just circling around, like just them just hanging out, bantering, kind of just bullshitting. Like this movie could have been way shorter. That whole first scene or the first half of the movie could have been like the first, like it could have been 20 minutes. And then you
there's
could have been like,
definitely
So listen,
like maybe
though.
focus on one or the other. I don't
he
like,
wanted
I don't
to
want
make-
two halves of a movie. I don't want
So-
two different movies half and half and then spliced together as one.
So
That's
listen,
kinda what it felt
listen.
like.
When they decided to make these movies, they were gonna make B movies or make exploitation movies. Robert Rodriguez was like,
I know,
I'm gonna make...
that's
listen,
very
but
obvious.
listen. Robert Rodriguez was like, I'm gonna make a zombie movie, and then Tarantino was like, I'm gonna make a slasher movie. So what is every slasher movie about? It's about someone stalking girls, someone hunting down girls. So when you put Tarantino into that, what does Tarantino do? He writes dialogue.
adds feet.
So
Why
you're
be
going
yelling?
to get a movie.
Stop
You're gonna
yelling.
get a movie
It's okay.
About-
Keep yelling.
about girls like other slasher movies, but you're gonna get it Tarantino style, which is just dialogue. So he's taking the
Trash.
day in the life of like other slasher movies of these kids in their lives, and he's just adding his version to it, which is dialogue. So I don't know what the fuck you expect. Like,
And in a
what do you want
general
here?
sense, those movies that he's styling after aren't good movies. It might be fun to watch,
okay,
but
okay,
generally they're
that's
just not
fine.
good movies. And
That's
what I'm
fine.
saying. Like,
But what do you expect when
succeeded
he makes a
on
movie
making
like
a
that?
bad movie.
Yes, I agree with you. It's a B movie. It's not a great movie. I'm not disagreeing with you, but what you're saying is that you both like and dislike this movie, right? That's what you're saying.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine.
Mhm.
But it's what you can't say. What I think is crazy is that you can't say it's
I want.
homage to a B movie as opposed to
No,
a
no.
B movie.
It
That is
100
absolutely bonkers.
It
You're an idiot.
100% is an homage to a B movie.
It-
That's exactly what they made Grindhouse for,
is a
as
B
two
movie.
homages to B movies. That's 100% what these movies are.
They made, and in that and doing that, you're right.
How are
the-
you
the
looping
idea-
back to what a B movie? We
the
talked about this for like a
idea-
half hour and like multiple other times, and
Because you guys definitely disagree. I think we all have our own opinions on what it is. It's very important.
We got to get someone in here who can moderate
Who?
this.
Who?
I don't know. We got to figure it out. We got to get.
I'm the
somebody.
moderator. You guys have your extreme points. I think
We need another opinion.
I think Schwartz is. I would say Schwartz's point. I would agree with a little more. I think a B movie can be made today, and I think a B movie.
we
could
just
be made
watched
for
a
big
movie
budget.
called
That's
Death
all I'm
Proof.
saying.
That was the example of that.
it was made to look like a B movie.
But
And
that's
in
not-
making it look like a B movie, you make a B movie. You
Yes.
can't make an A-list movie
Yes.
look like a B movie, but you can make a B movie to make it be a B movie, like
I don't
they
know.
did. And they
don't know.
even had Edgar Wright come in and make a B movie trailer, Rob Zombie come in and make a B movie trailer, and Eli Roth make a B movie trailer. Thanksgiving, Werewolf, Woman of the SS, and Don't. If you hadn't watched those, you're crazy. You should watch those. Have you seen those
Right.
trailers? Look on YouTube right now. They're amazing.
Wait, you didn't see those trailers?
The fake trailers. They played those in the middle of the Grindhouse ones. It was awesome.
I
Thanksgiving,
know it, but
dude. I would
you
love
didn't-
to watch
Jake,
Thanksgiving.
You never saw those? They
No,
made
I
Machete.
mean, I saw them in.
Yeah, Machete was one of those too.
I saw them in the.
Oh,
theater.
I always forget about Machete. Machete's another goddamn B movie that was made for
Super
fucking
B movie.
big budget.
Super B
Actually,
movie.
Machete's budget was probably super low, to tell you the truth. There's probably like under $1 million because Robert Rodriguez probably made that like on a green screen in his backyard.
Yeah, that'd be one of those maybes.
Lindsay Lohan's return to acting.
Yeah.
Look, there's certainly gray areas for everything.
Oh,
But-
now there's gray areas.
But
Got 'em.
I would be curious to know the budget of Machete and all that.
Hey man,
got you.
Anthony's
I
got
got
Google
you.
in his hands. I think he's
What
gonna
the
find the
fuck?
answer.
Wait, what the fuck is Google?
Google's the answer, dude. Yo, that Dookie Missy Mitch Beach Teach song, dude. One of the best uses of music in movie history.
Machete and Machete Kills.
How
they
much?
made a goddamn sequel.
You didn't see the sequel, dude? Fucking Mel Gibson's the villain.
I don't think I ever watched the sequel.
Oh
probably
my
because
God, it's
Mel
great.
Gibson's in it.
It's
Dude,
great.
You hate Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
It was shot in Austin, Texas, so you're not
Yeah.
wrong about that, Schwartz.
Yeah, that's where they shot both these movies too. Even Death Proof was shot there. I mean, and Planetary.
Yeah, they're at his studios.
Yeah,
You
the
want to
Troublemaker
take
Studios.
you want to take guesses on Budge?
I'm saying a million. I'm saying a million.
I'm saying 10.
What is a low budget?
I would say under
5 or under. 5 or under.
I'd say like 2 or under.
I'd say 5 or under.
5 under. That's
5 or under is a low
I'll
budget
I'll
movie.
accept it. I'll accept
Well,
that.
this was made for a whopping 10.5 million.
Both of them or one of them?
Just the first one.
Okay.
It's
So
a good
that's,
budget for a fake movie.
but it's still
Yeah.
a B movie. Have you seen that movie? It's edited the same way. It's,
I've
it's
seen
the,
the- I've
it's
seen
even
Machete.
more. It might be even more of a B movie than.
I think it might be. I think it may
Maybe
be
even more
But
of
it's
a big
Rob,
movie.
but Robbie Rods.
See,
He
again,
he specializes in that.
It's
Yes.
just it's semantics at this point, but I just think it's still stylized after a B movie. It's not truly a B movie.
Yes,
It's
you
just
say
stylized.
stylized.
But you have to make a B
Schwartz
movie
says
to
it is.
stylize a B movie. Like you can't just like you're gonna be like, all right, we're gonna make this look like a B movie, but
No, you
we're gonna
don't.
make an A-list movie.
Because you're not. Yeah, you're making an A-list movie if you're releasing it to a major market with A-list stars. That's an A-list movie, dude.
No, Jake. On paper, you saying it's an A-list. You think that all those fucking people in that movie for $10 million? Like, how many people are in Machete? Robert De Niro's in Machete. Fucking Mickey Rourke's in Machete. Willem Dafoe's in Machete. Fucking Cheech Marin's. There's no
that
way
makes
in a
it an
$10 million
A-list
budget.
that's a bunch
There's
of
no way
A-listers
in
in
a
an
$10
A-list
million
movie.
budget that those people are getting their normal rates. So those
Are we- is
A-listers
Billy D-
are
is-
taking those A-listers are taking budget. Rate cuts because they want to work with these directors. Like Sin City, like all those people in that movie, they didn't take their normal fucking rate. There was no big budget for that movie. Like that was all the budget was spent on the fucking post production. Like they're taking their like fraction. Thing with Wes Anderson movies, like all those A-listers in those Wes Anderson movies, they're not getting their fucking day rate that they're usually getting. They're taking fucking fractions of that shit to
Are
work
Wes
on these
Anderson
fucking
B
movies.
movies.
No, but they're not big budget movies. They're only like $10 to $20 million movies, and they got fucking dudes in there who make that, and like 4 people who make that in those movies at least.
He's like, you can consider him maybe an independent filmmaker.
Definitely independent filmmaker.
And I think Robert
sure.
Rodriguez is
I mean, Martin-
definitely an independent filmmaker.
Yeah, definitely.
I think you can consider these independent films, but I don't
Yeah.
think they're B movies necessarily because
they're
B movies
the
fits
script makes them
us-
B movies, my friend.
and I still disagree with you on the script thing because
Hey,
the
you're
B
still
movies.
wrong.
Okay,
We
so
get it.
this
We
is
still
where it
get
is,
it.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Where the black and
I'm
white,
wrong because
where the black
I
and
know
white
I've read a
shades
definition.
end
Yeah.
You're wrong because you're a
is
jerk. You're a
Jake-
goddamn jerk.
Schwartz, you
Jake-
can look at a fucking dictionary and be like, that's wrong.
Fuck a dictionary. This is
Fuck
the
dictionaries,
making me
dude.
watch movies
Outdated.
dictionary. Jake's definition is
That makes you so wrong.
Jake's definition is budget for B movie.
Yeah.
Has to be a certain budget. Schwartz is a script.
What was the budget of these two
Dude,
movies?
I understand the confusion. This was like $30,000.
$30,000.
I think fucking.
You mean
Death Proof
$30
was
million?
That I'm sorry.
I thought you did 30,000. I was like, wow, that's a
that
that's
would have
crazy.
been a B movie. That would have
That's
definitely been.
crazy.
I would have given you a B movie if this was made for 30,000. No, I think it was made for 30 million. I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Okay, so let's say this.
I think I could be wrong.
I'm writing a movie. I'm making a movie.
What was the budget?
I've been given $500,000
Yeah,
to make this movie. Okay.
yeah.
The
Already, that's an
script-
independent
the-
movie.
The script is fucking bonkers. So good.
Cool.
Super B movie. Like Schwartz would be like, oh, this is a B movie script. Let's say zombies. I don't know. The script is so good though that I have Zendaya and Timothy Chalamet and the guy who plays Todd. They're like, I'll do it for however much you want. I am in. Worldwide release because of the names in it and how fucking good my script is. But I made it for $500,000. Is that a B movie?
That's so many. That's a big.
I'm
That's a
just
big
trying.
s-
I'm
that's a lot of
going down.
specifics there.
You have a checklist that I'm like, which one of these can I not check and it still be a B movie, or does it have to be all of them? Is it just budget? I'm paying Zendaya,
I would say-
$8,000 for this movie. She's
Yeah,
into it, though.
that would be probably. Yeah, I would say that's a B movie.
So
and then-
A-list actors,
then if you get-
worldwide release, but the budget makes it the B movie.
Yes, I guess so. That's the one. That's the gray area one where I'm not totally sure. Because
Okay, how about
the
no
release is
A-list
big.
actors, but still worldwide release? B movie?
I'm not sure because then you would have that's like movies that would kind of be like Blair Witch Project and like Paranormal Activity.
Oh, Blair
like
Witch
where-
is not a B
where
movie?
They were just. I think that you could call that so, but then they get picked up and distributed by a different source. So I think you can call those B movies still.
See, I think in a way, independent films are kind of like the rebirth of B movies in a way. Like
I can agree with you there.
Like
for
I
sure.
think that the definition of independent film can also be looped in with any B movie in so many ways. Like because like we were talking about before, like if they made Good Will Hunting in the original script that they planned, where it was like this fucking thriller about this smart guy in Boston and the government's hunting him down, like that could easily, if you don't have a big budget, that become a pretty fucking B movie idea. You know what I mean? But they changed it up, so like you can market it either way.
So I'm thinking like a B movie is pretty much like an independent exploitation film. That's kind of what in my head, that's what a B movie is.
So
Does
a
that
B
make
movie
sense?
has to be independent?
Yes.
Well, wait, say that one more time. Sorry,
A B
say that
movie,
again.
I think yes, a B movie has to be an independent level of like budget. It can't. It certainly is not a studio movie. Is not
An independent level budget. Let's
that doesn't
say
make sense.
let's say George Lucas, an independent filmmaker,
Mhm.
writes and directs an independent film aside from any big studios. Is that a B movie?
Well,
I mean, Star Wars.
what
is
do
a
we?
B movie.
What do you
I mean,
consider
what's his
TH
budget? I don't. Really,
What do you
I
consider
don't
like
know.
THX 1138 or even American Graffiti? Like that's American Graffiti was made for probably almost nothing, and they shot that like in his hometown. Like that's, I mean, is that a B movie?
Central California.
No, I'd say that's probably more of an independent movie because I think B movie is still in that genre-y world, and that's why I see the confusion or the misrepresentation of what a B movie is these days, because it's sort of like it's that expletive or exploitation movie type feel that's like falls in the horror genre, the slasher genre, but it's for an independent budget. So it's an independent exploitation film is what a B movie is. But when it goes to that level of big budget, big stars, it takes from those genres and it's like a representation of what a B movie kind of was, and it's an homage to, it's stylized after, but that doesn't make it a B movie if it has that big money. Does that make more
Interesting.
sense? Does that
It makes sense, but I don't agree with it. So
Yeah,
11 months later in Tennessee, we see him getting ready for his next kill, which is Rosario Dawson and friends,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
Unfortunately, what he doesn't understand is Ms. Dawson's two friends are, in fact, also stuntmen, women, in fact. And not only are they ready for his shenanigans, they ready for his shenanigans. So when he comes to them after they are test driving a 77 Chevelle, I actually don't know what the car is.
Yeah.
After a very specific car that Zoe Bell, playing herself in a way, which I thought was fun. They get this car from the guy from Waterboy. They leave their cheerleader friend with him, and they drive playing.
He's like, is she in that movie? He's like, no, mama.
Yes. Is that a joke, Bobby?
Dude,
I'll have that
by the
scotch
way,
and water.
by
Hold
the
the
way,
scotch.
you know what I did like? As much as the dialogue was like, it was a lot, and it was just them talking. Like some of the conversations that they're having are pretty fucking funny. Like the way that Rosario Dawson gets this dude to give him this car is pretty fucked up. It's pretty hilarious, and it's super Tarantino. Like they're pretty hilarious conversations that these girls are having. Like they're just badass chicks too. Like there's just these. I feel like these roles are written like really well. Like they're roles that female characters or females would want to play. Like characters.
They're
Females wanna
written
play,
very
you know?
well for these specific people, I think, too.
For sure. But they represent
Definitely
like,
Zoe
they
Bell,
represent
and then
women
I'm
in a
sure
great
other people.
way. You know what I mean? Like they're just badasses. Like a lot of these girls are cool.
Yeah, dude. Up with the matriarchy, down with the patriarchy.
I'm just saying, like, I think you got to think about that too. Like, people love his dialogue, and he writes it for specific people, and they get to like that chick. What was her name? The other stunt girl, the driver, the curly haired girl. What was her name?
I don't remember what her character was.
She was great. She was like
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson-y, man. She had like all the
She-
Samuel L. lines.
She
Right,
had
yeah.
all the Samuel L. lines for sure.
Yeah, dude. Tracy Tom. She was Kim.
Tracy Toms.
Okay.
Kim was her character's name. Abernathy was Rosario Dawson's character.
Tracy Toms from Devil Wears Prada and Rent,
Oh, she was in Rent.
your favorite movie.
Oh, yeah. It was
Yeah, she was great. They were all great. Zoe Bell, this is her debut for acting, right? For like
She
actual
plays
acting.
herself.
Yeah,
Right.
not really though. She plays a
Yeah.
stunt woman named Zoe Bell.
it's a mockumentary.
It makes it even better in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when it's her and Kurt Russell playing husband and wife too. That makes it even more cool.
Yes.
Oh, that is her. I didn't even
Lest we
realize that
not
was her.
forget, Kurt essentially plays stuntman Mike in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Right.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
I mean,
What's
he's a
his character's
stuntman
name
and he's
in-
Kurt
in
Russell.
Once Upon a Time in
The
Hollywood?
best part is when she's like, his name's Randy. She's like, get your friend, Randy.
Randy.
He's like, I'll deal with it. She's like, deal with it, Randy.
Get your shit and get out of here. He's like, I'll
Get your
deal with
shit
it.
and get
Listen,
fucked.
get your stuff and get out of here. He's great. That movie's that portion of that movie is great. All of Cliff's is Cliff Brad Pitt?
Yes.
Yeah, all of his shenanigans, all from the stunts to him killing his wife, all of that's great.
Yeah, Cliff is the gem of that movie, man. Like
Cliff Booth.
Cliff
baby.
is even in the end when he's like, "Do I know you?" He's like, "Yeah, here, do devil shit." He's like, "Nah, that's not it." He's much dumber than that.
He's
Rex,
also tripping on an acid cigarette.
yeah. But dude, he fucking murders those people like brutally murders those people, bro.
Smashes her face. The way
The
he
dog,
smashes her face.
Fucking Brandy just tearing it up.
That's
And the
That's one
dog
of my
food.
favorites,
When he chucks the dog food at her face, I
Wolf
erupted, laughing
tooth,
laughing
dude.
my ass off. Anyway, back to this movie,
Yeah.
Death Proof, 1942. So he
goes,
finds
I burnt her. He goes, I burnt her to the crisp in my backyard.
he's like, well, my buddy
Goddamn
and
hippies ain't alright.
my,
I'll tell you that much.
my buddy and his dog killed 2 of them, and I burnt the last one to a crisp with a flamethrower. She's like, you have a flamethrower?
He goes, it's from the 14th McCluskey, right? He's like,
Yeah.
dude,
Fucking
that's
hippies.
So good. Anyway, keep going.
He tracks them down. He's chasing them down, chasing them with his car while they're playing a game called Ship's Mass, which means what's her name's on the hood holding onto belts while the Tracy's driving 100 miles an hour down the road in this car they're test driving from Waterboy. And
did you guys have any idea that was going to be something they were going to do? Like, you've seen this movie before, but do you remember when you first saw it, were you thinking that was going to be a thing? Because I remember I had no clue what they were going to do.
No, I didn't know what Ship's Mast was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember if I knew anything about it going into it.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you now because I've seen it such a long time ago. There's no way that I was like, oh, she's gonna be hanging on the hood. There's no way I thought that. Pretty epic. Right. The question is, she obviously wasn't just hanging on with belt. She was like secured on.
I don't know, man. I think she might have just been doing that.
Because that's pretty wild.
I think she voluntarily chose to like sign her shit away and do that because all that shit was practical. Unless they had her strapped in and we didn't see and they removed it with fuck.
I mean, all they would need is put a harness around her and lock her in under the hood somehow.
Sure.
You know, it wouldn't be, you wouldn't see shit. Anyway,
But,
I imagine they had a way to keep her safe.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember hearing Tarantino talk about that on a podcast because I think in certain shots they had to, I don't know, because I think it was if she was tied in, like there's another element of danger because if she fell off in certain ways but still tethered on, it could fuck her up. Like
if the car flipped over.
Exactly. It's like certain situations. It was like, so I don't remember what he said.
I think Zoe Bell did all that shit.
I think it was. I think you're right. I think it was.
I know. I mean, the coolest thing is, that it is Zoe Bell on the fucking hood. That's the coolest part. Mm-hmm. Just like it's Tom Cruise hanging on off of the side of the airplane, whatever.
In driving it, right? He also drives the airplane, supposedly. Tom Cruise.
He drives airplanes.
I'm
sure he has a pilot's license.
The choppers. He pilots the choppers to the Grand
Canyon.
Canyons.
He has his pilot's license.
Bro, those Mission Impossible movies have gotten pretty epic, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Pretty good. It's like what you wanted the Fast and Furious movies to be.
Yeah, I've only seen the first one. I've never seen any.
What? You've never seen the other Mission Impossibles?
No.
Oh man, the first one has nothing to do with the rest of them.
Yeah.
The first one's great though. That's Brian De Palma.
I love the first one. I just think
I remember
it's like days different than the first. The first one's a mystery movie. The next one's all of them are just straight up blockbuster action movies now.
Yeah. I barely remember
where he's literally hanging off of the side of airplanes while they're taking off.
Yeah.
Pretty great.
But that car chase in the end, like we were talking about, like epic. And how long is this car chase? It's like 20 minutes. It's literally like a 20-minute fucking car chase.
The first half of it is great because she's on the hood.
Yeah,
she's on the hood. They all spin out. They're crashing back and forth. He crashes them. She flies off the hood. I assume she was dead. He gets out of his car, assuming like every other time that these girls are just normal girls, super scared at what just happened. This guy's chasing them. He's laughing at him. He says, I was just playing with you guys. I'll see you later. Little does he know that Tracy's packing heat, starts blasting him, shoots him in the shoulder. He starts crying, gets in his car, takes off. We see Zoe Bell in one of the funniest parts of the movie. They think she's dead. She just jumps out of the bushes, says, I'm okay. And then from that movie or from that point on, it's just like, all right, what are we doing? Let's go get this motherfucker. They pick up pipes and chase him down.
Well, the way they decide that too. But like the way they decide that, like she leans in, like after she almost dying, she leans in the window. She's like, hey, so are we gonna go kill that guy? And she's like, yeah, we're gonna go fucking kill that guy. And then they're all of a sudden they're like, all right, let's go fucking kill this guy. And they're all like hyped. Even Abernathy in the back seat's like, let's go fucking kill this guy. I'm just like,
yeah, Abernathy.
But I guess in that situation though, like that dude almost killed them multiple times. So like you're probably all fucking hyped. You know what I mean? Like You're going in there for
Well, they're
blood.
also badasses. They're not. They ain't
They
no.
are.
They
They are.
ain't no nobodies. They're fucking. They are just as qualified as that guy, if not more,
Yeah, I guess
because
so.
they are stunt people. I think that was the key. That's why this movie is a homage to stunt people as much as it is to just B movies in general. Is like it's a stuntman murdering people until he meets his match, which are other stuntmen, and they
Yeah.
fuck him up. They chase him down for another 10 minutes. He thinks he loses them a couple times and he doesn't. The last part where he thinks he lost him, he looks back, he starts laughing, he thinks he got away with it, and they just come out of nowhere and plow into the side of him, flipping his car over. And then he gets out crying. They go over to him. He's apologizing. I didn't mean anything, bud. I was just kidding. And they beat the fuck out of him. And that's where the movie ends.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
The punching.
It's an
starts and
extremely
boom.
satisfying punching circle.
Well, Rosario Dawson comes in with the fucking heel in the end and breaks. His
Yes,
face open.
and then at the very end, after a couple credits, I think we see Rosario Dawson high
the credit is
high to low.
The credit is written and directed by Quentin Tarantino, and then the flip.
Yeah. Boom, and just totally
starts with feet, ends with feet.
Starts with feet, ends with
Yeah.
feet.
Classic.
Yeah.
Totally demolish this dude in one of the most satisfying endings of any movie. And that's it.
Yeah.
It literally, that's it. The end. And Jake hated it.
I didn't hate it. It's not like a movie I would watch a bunch of times, clearly, because I only saw it the once in the theater as far as I can remember.
Not a single animal got hurt in this movie.
I doubt it. But I don't.
do
It's
you
like
mean
like I
doubt
said,
it?
I
There was
appreciate
no animals in
elements
the
of
movie.
it.
Maybe they ran
I
over a
just-
fucking cricket.
It wasn't that. It just wasn't very entertaining. Like the car shit was the most entertaining. Anytime Kurt Russell was on the screen, I liked it. But other than that, when it was just like people just hanging out talking about bullshit, like I get it. It was very Tarantino of him, but the story lacked the depth that I wanted. It was just kind of very simple, very this is what it is, and whatever. It's fine. It was
Yeah.
fine.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I still loved it though.
Yeah, I can't say I loved it. I definitely didn't hate it. But overall, Tarantino's would be the last one I would purposely watch.
You don't
again.
even have it on your
I
wall.
don't even have it on my wall. And Hateful Eight, not a big fan of Hateful Eight. I
Well, you are a
appreciate parts
hateful
of it,
person, so.
but I don't really like it that much. It's
I mean,
long.
Tarantino has said like that this is his least favorite movie of his
Yep.
too.
He has, yeah.
Death
probably-
Proof?
Probably the same
Yeah.
thing. It's because it's not a bad movie.
self-conscious.
It's just kind of
I
It-
don't think that's the thing.
I think he's
It-
just self-conscious because he DP'd it. I think he's just a little self-conscious of it.
and it's such
I
him.
think,
Like
I think it's a better movie than Hateful Eight. Honestly, I'd rather watch this than Hateful Eight. I was so hyped for Hateful Eight, and I just feel like Hateful Eight was so like it's your problem with this, Jake. You think this movie is just really boring, and I just thought what I loved about Hateful Eight, it was just a bunch of bad guys. Like it was a bunch of characters that DiCaprio's character would play on his like remember how DiCaprio's character was always playing bad guys in movies on TV shows? It was a bunch of those characters like in a movie together. That's what Hateful Eight was.
Yeah,
That was cool about it.
Yeah, I
but,
like the
like,
characters. It
just-
was fun dialogue. It was a bunch of quirky characters together. It wasn't great, but it was.
Yeah.
I just appreciated it more.
Well,
I thought
they didn't call it the Grateful Eight.
Yeah.
Listen, I
look was
wish
cooler.
I this is the thing. Hateful Eight's a good movie. This is a good movie. We're just ranking
sure.
them in the canon of a director who's top
Canon.
10 director of
Like
all
you said,
time.
Canon.
I mean, in the director list, he's definitely top 10. So that's a pretty
Oh, for
big
sure.
thing, you know?
For sure. Like he hasn't really made a bad movie. If this was
No.
if this was the worst movie he's made, it was bad on purpose in that sense, and that's kind of my thought. But and he achieved making a bad movie.
What you don't like about this movie is not why he thinks it's bad. Like he doesn't think this is a bad movie because of the editing. He doesn't think this is a bad movie because of the way the sound goes in and out. He doesn't think it's a bad movie because it chops from white to black and white to color. That's not why he says it's bad. He says it's bad because of the commercial success. He says it's bad because of the way that people reacted to it and everything like that. He's like, well, if that's my worst movie. That's not my worst movie. He doesn't think what he made is a bad movie. He made a B movie purposely.
You don't
That's
know what
not
he
why he.
thinks.
That's no 100%. That's what he thinks. I've listened to the conversation. That's what he's saying. He's not saying this is worse. He doesn't like this movie because it looks the way it does.
In his head.
He's saying because people.
Dude, he knows what he thinks.
Dude. He said that they underestimated the value of what they wanted to do. Like, not everybody cared about a Grindhouse double feature as much as they thought they would. Like, him and Rob Rodriguez really liked that shit, and he was like, I guess everybody just doesn't really like it as much as we do. That's what you can listen to the fucking thing of him saying that.
I don't know. I one time I read a quote that he said Death Proof sucks.
No, he never said that.
Well,
Jake said that.
Also, guys,
I
they've made some great collabs. Like, From Dusk Till Dawn, that's such a great fucking movie.
Never seen it.
Such a great fucking movie. Oh shit! There's the quote.
It says right there.
There's the quote. It's facts.
Same.
Oh wow, I didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
Is that Notepad? Is that what that is?
I don't know what you're talking
Notepad
about.
app?
I read that on my phone. So
Yeah.
weird.
I mean,
Tarantino said it.
The greatest part of this is that we're talking shit on a movie when Jake's posters are behind.
Oh, and that's what I'm saying. That was kind of that's kind of why I wanted to explore this movie, or I was happy to explore this movie because I love Tarantino. Like, he's one of my favorite directors, and it was like a movie that for a long time I just kind of didn't like. And then Anthony, a few weeks ago, you posed the question like, do I like this or what do I not like about it? And I kind of didn't really know how to answer that because I was like, I don't really remember.
You do.
I just remember the talking, and it's
hate
still the
this.
talking.
You just
But
hate shit.
I think this conversation helped, though. I appreciate it a little more, and I appreciate some elements a little more now that we talk through them. But still, I could take it or leave it.
So yeah, so we watched the extended version.
Okay.
Wait, no, but the original version.
I think there's one that's like an hour and 31 minutes or something. That was the theater.
There's a 153, and then there's a 2 hour 7-minute version.
Yeah, that's like, I think the actual extended version. I don't know what they would call it, the hour 53, but I think the theatrical version is a lot less.
127, yeah. The Grindhouse version that we saw in theaters is only an hour and a half.
Yeah. So I don't know what they added from that, because that's like a full 20-something minutes, right? That they added.
Listen, I'm sure if they took out like 2 of the round table scenes, you'd probably fucking love this movie, right?
Probably, if they chopped it down or like filled it with something else, or
I mean,
maybe
if
a
this
little bit
movie
more.
ended after the first car crash, I would have been cool too.
Yeah, I think they needed to either bulk up one side or the other with a little bit more. Like, it just, to me, I don't get why they had to do that like 2-sided story thing, because it was just
because
a
he doesn't
other than him.
doesn't really do traditional linear storyline.
What do you
much,
mean
if you look at his
2-sided story
movies.
thing? Like why they had like the 2 sets of girls?
Yeah, but why? I guess why that first? I guess if they had that as like just like the first 20 minutes or something as like setup to his character, but this was like a whole drawn out, like it was like 45, 50 minutes into the movie that like that.
I thought it was cool that
happened.
I love meeting characters and getting invested in them, and then them dying halfway through the movie.
That's awesome.
I fucking love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So the fact that happened,
fair.
the fact that I was like, even that like the second or third time that I watched this movie, I was like, man, I forget like what this movie's about. Like, I always thought like I forget Rosario Dawson's even in the movie until like, oh yeah, that's right. This isn't even the main story. It's the next story that I care about. Yeah. I like that. I like I like Drew Barrymore dying in the beginning, dude.
Yeah, no, I see the argument there. I just didn't feel fully engaged by like the lengths of the conversations in the first half. And then once they like switched to the second half, I was kind of like, okay, we're just doing this again. And I just felt like a little like almost discouraged at that point, and I just felt like disengaged a little bit. Like I wasn't fully engaged by the time we got to the killing, but it brought me back in. Like the car shit, that brought me back in, because after that, like they're just kind of winding through conversations for 45 minutes. Then you get the cool car scene with that. It was the brutal shit. It was fun, but then I'm back.
Did you like the butterfly thing? Oh, I'll call you butterfly. Then you got to give him a lap dance. Did you like that? I thought that was great.
I liked the "you're okay in my book" part, but
yeah,
that was basically
like that whole build up to that. I like that. What I didn't care for was
Kurt Russell. I enjoyed. Kurt Russell was always great.
I didn't care for a lot of the second group's conversation. I thought the second group's conversation was a little more boring than the first group's conversation.
But you were just over all the conversation from the other.
Yeah, like I like where it went. The car chase was
so
fun.
much.
The car shit was cool, and it's like a cool little twist that he like. Oh, because now he was fucking with stunt people. Like now it was like he met his match.
That's
I kind of like that little twist to it, but like the whole build to that was like, fuck,
cool.
We're doing this again. Like we're doing 40 minutes of talking again.
You hate Tarantino, dude. Hey, never mind. Don't come out, dude. He hates you.
Yeah, I love him, but
All
I
right,
love his
Jake,
dialogue. Typically, his dialogue's quirky, and
this is
again lack depth. That's all. That's the.
Did you just say typically his dialogue's quirky? Wow.
Yeah, quirky and fun.
All right, this is the part
And,
where the viewers who watch us on video get to see something great. Jake is going to smash all his posters right now live on our podcast. All right, do it, dude. Do it.
They're actually.
We didn't rank it.
Oh man, we cut out. Jake smashed it all before I
It's all
accidentally
smashed.
hit stop.
Yep. Oops.
That's not even gonna play well. It's just gonna cut right to it.
Perfect. Nailed it. Goof.
Should we rank this movie in the Tarantino? Should we rank Tarantino movies?
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
That's so hard.
I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that.
Let's do it.
I'd be down for that. Anthony, you go first. Anthony, you go first. I gotta look.
I'm
Schwartz, you're so fired up to do it. Why don't you
I don't know. This is fun. I like
Jake, you go first. All you got to do is look behind you.
I'm going to go.
There's so many epic ones.
Off the quick draw, I'm going to go in
Start.
Pulp Fiction 1, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 2, Bastards 3, Django 4, Kill Bills I would like to put as one. Can we put Kill Bill together? Or do we have to split Kill Bills?
You can keep it together.
So Kill Bill, then Jackie Brown, if there's any other Jackie, and then is that which ones am I missing? And then Reservoir Dogs after Jackie Brown, and then Hateful Eight, and then Death Proof. So Pulp,
there's some ones in there that are.
So Pulp's number one.
Pulp's number one. Yeah,
I agree.
It's hard to just get around it. Like I think that's just.
My problem is this: is like I don't know if I should rate it on like, do like the way like I know the rate like the goodness or the way I enjoy them. How should I do it? Tell me.
I think you should just do it in like a snappy, quick draw
fashion.
Quick draw fashion, like I did.
Why don't you think what the best movie is? What do you think the best movie is?
The best movie is Pulp Fiction, no matter what. That's his best film for sure, because that's just one of the best movies of all time. That's his best film, no matter what. I think it'll always be his best film. But my favorite one is Jackie Brown.
You got to pick one.
So, all right. I'm going to start from the.
Can that be 1 and 2? That can be 1 and 2.
Start from the bottom then. I'm going to start from the bottom. So I'm going to go
Hateful Eight over here.
Hateful Eight, Death Proof. Hateful Eight, Death Proof. Once Upon a Time. Django, Inglourious, Kill Bill, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction. Oh, it's Reservoir Dogs, Jackie Brown, Pulp Fiction.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay.
I'm kind of surprised Reservoir Dogs is that high, but maybe just for is it
Reservoir
because
Dogs is
of
because
the impact?
It's his first movie, and it's one of the best first movies ever made.
Okay, that's fair. Because Reservoir Dogs is I love it, but it's like compared to the ones after that, like they're just all superior to me.
Dude, Pulp Fiction is the best.
To Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah, Anthony, what do you got? Rapid fire.
Yeah.
No, the one I've watched the most though is probably Django. I think I've probably seen Django more than any other one.
Oh, Inglourious for me.
Pulp,
if not Pulp Fiction. If not Pulp Fiction is probably the one that I've seen the most, just because I've been watching that since I was a child. But Inglourious Bastards is if I'm gonna put one on, I'm putting on Inglourious Bastards.
I go Django because of the humor, and it just like fast paced and just more. It's the most. I think
Inglourious is hilarious too.
Inglourious is, but I don't know. I find Django one of the more entertaining ones. But now that Once Upon a Time's out, I just haven't seen that many times because it just came out like 2 years ago.
I think DiCaprio and Christoph Waltz in Django are just so good.
for sure. All right, Anthony, what's your rank?
In Django, yeah, in Django, but Christoph Waltz in Inglorious is
He's great, but the difference is but I think I just love the character he plays in Django because he plays a good guy and he plays like he's such a great dude.
I love that they're
he's
like
amazing
polar
in
opposites.
Inglourious.
I
He's
love
amazing
it.
in Inglorious,
They're
but
both great.
but the character he plays in Django is just an overall like good guy, so it's kind of
good
cool.
guy,
Yeah.
great guy,
Yeah,
hilarious, always.
hilarious guy. Yeah,
Always.
yeah.
I mean, Pulp Fiction's gonna be on top. From the bottom, I gotta go probably Hateful Eight. I'm sorry, but I put Jackie Brown down there with
The haters.
Death Proof. Going up, we're coming to let's see, The Dogs. I'd say Once Upon a Time, then Django, then Reservoir Dogs. And then what's left? Inglorious and Pulp Fiction. Did I miss one?
I broke out. Where'd you put?
Where'd
Kill Bill?
you? Yeah, I don't know if I heard. Oh yeah, I don't think you said Kill Bill anywhere. So
Yeah.
Start from the top. You got Pulp Fiction, then you got what?
I got Pulp Fiction, Inglorious Bastards.
Okay, good top two.
I think I did. I don't know. I'm just looking at it. I didn't actually write it down.
Say Django after that, maybe.
I want to say Django, the Kill Bills. I put Kill Bill above Django. Kill Bill's just so Tarantino.
It's so good.
Yeah,
So Tarantino.
I think as a filmmaker, that's his best movie. Just all around showing off his skills. Kill Bill is like the best.
Yeah.
And then
Especially
my
since I got into
my bottoms
samurai
are
movies, too.
probably Hollywood, Death Proof, Jackie Brown, Hateful Eight.
Okay. I love Hollywood for some reason. Like it's
Hollywood. Listen, dude, we're ranking these
good to me.
movies. We're ranking all these movies, but all these movies are
they're all great.
We're just
It's
ranking movies we
hard to
love.
rank.
That's all.
Yeah, they're
We're-
hard to
Yeah,
rank.
they're all good movies. And on
We're
another
ranking
day,
movies we love.
this might change it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only
Nope,
one that's
what
gonna
I
stay
said goes.
consistent- The only one that's going to stay consistent is Pulp Fiction. No one's going to ever change that one.
Probably. Yeah, Pulp Fiction's a solid
Yeah.
up there. For a while, it was like hard for me to choose between like Django, Bastards, and Pulp Fiction as like my number one Tarantino. It was just those three were just like
Pulp Fiction is just so good.
his top. Yeah, they're all great. Great guy. Good kisser.
Great kisser.
Loves feet.
Ready? Let's see here. Number 20.
Number 20. Where you never actually where's your Goodwill Hunting? Because you were the list, there's weird shit that happened to the list.
My
for
list
some
doesn't
reason.
go low enough for Goodwill Hunting.
What? Oh.
All right,
He put it last, dude. 79.
It's 104 actually.
So 81 or
No, I'm kidding. Let's see. I'm gonna put it right below Lake Placid at number 42.
word.
I'm kidding. Everybody relax.
All right.
I'm cool with it. Do whatever you
Good.
want, dude.
You think Lake Placid's better than Goodwill Hunting?
Not at all, but
Definitely
if you do,
not.
it's fun.
But you might.
Let's go number 26. That's where Goodwill Hunting goes. And number 20 for Death Proof.
All right. So if I move
26 Goodwill, 20 Death Proof.
so is
Which makes
Goodwill
Goodwill
is
27, I guess.
all right. So is that under Drag Me to Hell? Or
No, it'll be
above
above Drag Me to Hell.
under
I think it's a
Nightmare?
little better than Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah, definitely. And then under Nightmare?
And I like Nightmare a little better than that.
Okay, cool. Got you. Placement placed. And I'm bumping my
I'm
Goodwill.
gonna-
I'm bumping my Goodwill to number 1, by the way. It's the best movie ever.
Yeah, like Highlander.
Ever.
Interesting.
Not
All right,
ever,
I'm
ever.
gonna go Death
know what I'm
Proof
saying.
27. Thank you.
Thank you.
DPTC.
You're welcome.
Death Proof 27.
7 doesn't start with a C, but I get where you're going.
Whatever. Sounds like it.
It always sounds better if the abbreviation ends with E, B, C, D, E, G.
Right, exactly. Flow,
Yeah.
flows better. It's a good flow.
Fleas E, C, D, B, C, D, fleas B.
Yeah,
I hope Tarantino listens to this. That'd be dope.
that would be pretty cool.
I think if we should have one goal with this podcast is to get Mr. Tarantino on just to discuss what a B movie is. That
Oh
should
my
just be our
God,
goal.
Right.
That would be awesome.
If we can get him just to send us a recording. I wonder if he's on Cameo.
No.
You don't think so?
way. That would be awesome. I
not?
hope he is because I want one of those.
Maybe he is. He's like, you know what I mean? The B movie is, I'll tell you what a B movie is. It's not what you think it is. It's something else. It's one many things. It's not what Jakes thinks it is. It's not what Schwartz thinks it is. It's an amalgamation of many things. I have wrote a B movie back in 72.
Exactly.
So I have
It's
a-
gonna be
I
like
have
we're
a-
gonna come out of it like what?
I
But
have,
whatever he says is what we agree with though.
what he says has to
Has to
go.
be.
All right,
We
I'll
we have
stick
to all
it.
agree on that.
I'll
Yeah.
stick to
Yeah.
whatever Tarantino says. But
So
we,
yeah,
too.
when
we have
when
to hear from him
Tarantino comes
directly.
on
Yeah.
Yeah,
and he
sure.
explains it to us, that's gotta be.
Guys, I forgot to tell you last week. Quentin told me. Jake's
Yeah.
like he wasn't direct.
It
No,
was. He
You're
didn't
gonna
tell
make up
me.
some
He didn't
bullshit
tell me.
quote.
Yeah. And by the way, mine. I'm gonna go number 40. Very, very middle of the world list out of our 82 films thus far.
4-0, huh?
40.
That's cool.
Yeah. I have a new top 10. if you
It
guys
is.
give a shit.
Cares.
I
don't give a
figured you didn't
fuck.
care. I know you
Um,
don't.
While
Go ahead. What's your top 10, Jake? Let's hear it. Out of
No,
82
not
movies,
my
what's
new
your
top 10. The new top 10.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
Overall,
Fuck it. Let's hear it. 82 movies. Let's hear it. What's our top 10?
our top 10. We still
Start
got
with start with 10.
ooh,
10.
number 10.
Okay, going-
number
going
10
10.
sneaked its
10
way in.
is actually a new movie. It's the Don't Look Up. We just did Don't Look Up. That's our number
Okay.
10. So
Okay.
highly reviewed. Which is
Highly
strange
reviewed.
because Don't Look Up is getting very polarizing reviews out there with the critics. I don't really understand it. Probably,
Yeah.
probably because they're
I
making
can't
fun
wait-
of the media.
I can't wait to watch The Last Duel. You, Schwartz, are the only person I've heard say The Last Duel is good. Every single other person I've ever heard says it's a piece of shit.
No,
So
it's
I can't
great.
wait to watch it.
We haven't done a Ridley Scott movie.
I can't wait to watch it. I want to watch it just because I hope I don't agree with you. I hope I think it's a piece of shit.
Should we watch that next? We haven't done a Ridley Scott movie.
Good. We got. I
mean,
don't know.
But, like,
Is
listen-
it
rough,
available?
'cause I
to
love
stream?
Ridley Scott and I love the people in that movie. So
Hold
Yo,
on a
it's
second,
way
though.
better than House of Gucci. I know that much for
Yeah,
sure.
it was way better than House of Gucci.
I heard that was a
Way
piece of
better.
shit too. Well,
Yeah.
maybe
I
that's what I'm
liked it,
thinking.
but
I wouldn't say it's a piece of shit. It wasn't very good though.
yeah, it wasn't a piece of shit. Like it's a Ridley Scott movie, so it's a pretty good movie.
It
but
was all right.
It just wasn't that good. Like Last Duel was really good. Thing about Ridley Scott is like he's made some fucking amazing movies, and his last couple were like all right, but Last Duel is like really good.
Mhm.
Like it even feels like it's really good. It's a
is.
good movie. It's got a good subject matter, and they're like the chick from fucking Killing Eve, Villeneuve. She's in it, so it's really good.
Yes, I think it's gonna be Matt Damon playing like a medieval knight. That's gonna
It
throw
is.
me off.
Yeah, but he's
And
actually
Adam
pretty
Driver.
good. Adam Driver does
Adam
too, yeah.
Driver, I feel like Adam Driver I can get behind. He looks like a medieval knight, but
Yeah, but Matt
Damon
Damon's
is
like
fucking Matt
fat.
Damon.
Matt Damon's kind of fat. He's got a big scar on his face, so it's kind of cool.
I mean, Jesse
They rough
Plemons
him
is,
up.
is Fat Damon. If we want to just throw him in the role, we could have
Jesse
done that.
Plemons is great.
He's Fat Matt Damon.
Yeah, he's also only like 32, which is crazy.
He looks 54.
He does.
He looks like a 50-year-old fat Matt Damon. That's what he looks like. He
He's
looks
married.
like Todd Damon.
He's married to Kirsten Dunst too.
Ah, what?
Yeah, they got 2 kids.
She's a cutie.
Yeah, she
What
is.
was she just in? I just saw she was just in
Power
a
of the
movie.
Dog?
Now, I would never watch that.
Oh, really? That's on my list.
It's
No.
an interesting one.
So wait, are we gonna do Ridley? Are we gonna do Last Duel? Because that's a big good one. That's a controversial movie. Even the subject matter is just a movie to talk about.
The subject matter of
Yeah,
dueling.
it's pretty hardcore movie. It's pretty heavy.
yeah, it's pretty heavy. I mean,
Pretty,
it's up to you, man. It's your pick, but I don't know. Is it available to stream right now? That's the
I own it.
okay. You
I
own
bought
it?
that
That's-
shit.
Oh, you
that's
already bought it?
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, you can rent it. You can definitely rent it.
Oh, it is on like streaming
Yeah,
now,
I
like
bought
Amazon
it.
or
I
whatever.
bought it on
Okay.
Amazon. Yeah.
All right, I realize. Fuck.
Yeah. No, I'm
Cool.
saying I bought it on Amazon. So you can
Your
definitely-
call then,
I didn't fucking know.
Mr.
I didn't
Pick.
fucking know.
Me?
It's your picks. Your
Well,
pick, dog.
I have another Ridley Scott movie on my list that I would like to watch just as much, but I
Oh.
mean, this is
Which is?
pretty good. Body of Lies with DiCaprio and Russell Crowe.
Just watch that.
I've
It's not really-
seen
it's
that
kinda-
movie.
Kind of doo doo.
You did what? That
Oh,
movie was
boy.
awesome.
We so all right. So we already saw that. So it's out.
Oh,
It's out.
Anthony never done seen it.
He just said he
I've
saw
seen
it.
Body of Lies. Yeah.
Done said he saw.
You did?
Done said he saw, dog.
I seen Body of Lies.
You seen it? You listening,
fair.
dog?
Let's
Alright.
pick a let's do duel. Let's do last duel. We don't have to do it next. We'll think about it. Maybe there
Alright,
is there
fuck.
another Ridley Scott I haven't seen. I've never seen this movie. Alien.
Alien?
I watched it. the other
Alien.
night.
A lion. A lion.
Oh, a lion. Nah,
Yeah,
I
a
don't. I
lion.
don't know any jungle movies. So if you want to throw
Yeah.
that one in, I'm in.
It's jungle. It's like a Jungle Book in space. I think it's like an homage to Jungle Book, but it's in space.
JB and S.
But yeah, JB and S. You want to? Should we wrap up this one and then we can decide on the other
What's
one?
the next movie?
I don't know.
It's way easier if we do it now.
Sure, just don't know.
All right, I'm gonna pull one out of left field, but it's a movie called Living in Oblivion.
Living in Obliv.
Fun fact, we'll never watch Steve Buscemi in
Sorry.
Live and Obliv. Especially since next week we have to watch last week's movie, which was Jake's pick, and that was The Gangster, The Cop, and The Devil. If you watch that, listen to us next week everywhere you get podcasts. You can follow us on Instagram at MMwM_podcast. Let us know what your favorite Korean horror movie is. Is it this? Is it this one? Do you like this movie? Have you seen it? Let us know. Or not. Either way. Either way's fine. Have a great week. See you next Wednesday.